And we are live. This is Travis from Carter Capital, helping you fight for your financial freedom throughout the Forex market. I hope everybody's doing very well on this Tuesday morning. I have 6:33 as we go through and take a look at the markets. I'm going to go through the disclaimer first, and then after that, we're going to go ahead and jump into what we end up seeing. I'm not a CTA, so I'm not going to tell you whether to buy or to sell. What I'm going to do is teach you education, and from that education, you can be able to make your own informed decision. I understand that trading involves risk. It involves risk of being able to make money, also involves risk of being able to lose money. So please keep that in mind and understand that past performance is not indicative of future results, which means that if you end up making money yesterday, it's not promised that you're going to end up making money today. So with that being said, as we go through and being able to take a look at overall opportunities, I'm going to go ahead and pull up my screen and make sure that I can be able to say hey to everybody that is watching online. Um, for the people that are watching online, thank you for being able to pop in. Um, and we'll go ahead and go from there. So, economic calendar. Let's see what's going on with that first, and then after that, we'll jump into the overall trading pairs, so we can get a better idea about what's going on. Let's see. Uh, Move this out the way, and all right, and cool. Last thing I need to look at. Okay, cool. So, as we go into today, we end up having nothing on the news docket that's truly going to end up affecting the market today is a trader's day, meaning that if you take a look at the chart's going to end up being more important than what you end up seeing from a news standpoint. Now, also with that being said, remember this is the second week of the month, and typically in the second week of the month, you're not going to end up having that much information or that much movement from an economic standpoint that's going to make the market move overall. And so last week we ended up having a very good week. Obviously, with the starting of the traders week, we had non-farm payroll. We had a few other things like that. The next biggest thing that we're going to pay attention to is what's going to end up happening on Thursday. That's really going to affect what's going to happen with Great Britain with their um, interest rate decision and rate cuts and everything else like that. They're expected to move up 0.25 basis points to 4.5 compared to the 4.25 that it was at previously. So that's where we're at right there when it comes down to that. I'm going to go ahead and take a look at Smart Trader real quick and see what's happening with the big three. And then after that, we can kind of go and get a better idea about what's happening. All right. So I have oil on the screen first. And I guess I'll go ahead and start off with oil. Remember, oil was in consolidation. The market ended up falling below. Last week ended up falling below $64 a barrel, I believe. The low was at 63.79. From there, the market basically ended up going back to the um, 127 as a overall retracement, and then after that, since the beginning of the week, the market has pushed right back inside of this overall consolidation area. So it's done turned. We done found a new support. Actually, we done created a new range when it comes down to the overall lows that we have to be able to pay attention to. So I'm going to take out um, we're going to take out these overall areas. We had a trade that we were looking at potentially of being able to get in. The trade never triggered because the market never gave us a full counter trend line break to be able to work with from that position. So new support on this one will now end up being $64 a barrel. I'm going to move this down so everybody can be able to take a look at it. The rest of the information that we've had since then previously, we can go ahead and get rid of because now it is not as important when it comes down to that. And obviously, when we get further developments, we can be able to know that we have a larger consolidation range that we're working off of now. So it broke out this green area. Now we have this new yellow area where the new consolidation is, which makes the new halfway point go all the way back down to that $72 per barrel to be the halfway point of where to be able to get out when it comes down to trades like this now. So let me go ahead and erase some of this stuff, kind of get that out the way. Question is now, should you be looking at being able to get in? The answer to me right now is no. If you would have got in a couple of days ago, yeah, it would have been a little bit of a smarter move to be able to do. But from a daily perspective, that we're in a no trade zone. From a consolidation perspective, obviously we're back in the middle of this. We're back in the middle of this consolidation overall, and trying to see how the market's going to eventually start to be able to make a move off of it. But currently, right now, U.S. oil still in consolidation after making that move to the downside of last week. Okay, cool. So uh, let's go to what's happening with the United States dollar index. From a U.S. dollar standpoint, the market was at consolidation. The low was at 12,760. The market has broken below that a couple times at this particular point. We're clearly at support when it comes down to this overall movement. Same deal. Question is the market going to end up pushing up, or are we going to see this thing fall again from the consolidation? Currently, right now, I'm going to sit on my hands. I'm going to kind of wait and see how the market kind of reacts. We're getting closer to the buy zone, but uh, we are in the buy zone. So there is an expectation that this market could push up. Obviously, we looked at um, this maroon trend line from a weekly standpoint. The market is still considered to be bullish as long as it stays above that overall area. Um, Something to be able to pay attention to. But I want to see how the market's going to eventually uh, decide to be able to make its movement from there. But I do consider this market to be bullish or to have some bullish type of um, a bullish type of sentiment from retracing. The question is, what's going to be the catalyst to make the market move? Currently, right now, we don't have a catalyst yet. Let's take a look at gold. So gold broke out and finally completed that third leg of the movement, going all the way up to 2070, um, rejecting off of the top of that overall movement, and then after that falling down. From there, it turned past support on a past resistance into a future support as of yesterday, and the market is starting to push up. You ask me what is a better play or a better trade right now, just from a visual standpoint, I would say that gold is a better trade overall because we can clearly see that it's done turned this past resistance into a support um, right here. So here, there goes your support, and it's starting to move back up. I do like that as a better move compared to what I end up seeing from the United States dollar index and from what ended up happening with oil. So I think I'll pay attention to this one a little bit more. Let's go ahead and put some fibs down on this one and see what's happening. Um, from a Fibonacci standpoint, the A ended up getting broken from a 2 hour. So from a 2 hour movement, um, it makes it kind of hard to know what you want to do for its movement. But let's take a look again at the short term movement. And the short term, the extension is about to be hit. I'm gonna wait on gold. I'm gonna wait on gold and see what's happening with that one. But I do think it's bullish. Obviously, I think that there's a better move to the upside than there is anything else. Okay, so we get off of that. Let's take a look at Bitcoin. From a Bitcoin standpoint, market ended up falling down below consolidation. We talked about 29,000 being a major number that once it's broken and it stays above, then you'll probably end up seeing that this market may end up continuing to move to the upside. Currently, right now, that has not happened. We're seeing the market starting to fall down within this overall area, which means that we're probably going to find a little bit of support down to 26,500 before being able to see this market move. So that's my new point of where I would like to be able to get in. I want to see this market fall down to 26.5. If it holds support, then after that, I look at being able to re-enter from a movement right there. If it does break below, then obviously 25,000 will be the next number. But 26.5 is the number that I'll be paying attention to overall. Going into trading view and taking a look at the indexes. Go ahead and take a look at US 30. Get off of that mouse. Mouse, get off of that, buddy. Go put it up. But I'm supposed to charge it. Yeah, you're supposed to charge it, not play with it. Go upstairs, go get your clothes. Go. Good morning. What's breakfast? We're about to get some breakfast. Good morning. Say good morning. Good morning. All right, go ahead, go upstairs. Go ahead. All right, so US 30 from an Ikimoku cloud standpoint, looking at the daily chart, we're still within the middle of consolidation. We can see that we've been in consolidation since the early portion of November of last year. Um, Even though we're still in the bullish phase of this consolidation, we can clearly see that we're in the middle of a lot of stuff when it comes down to the cloud and everything else like that. And we're in the middle of this high volume node. So um, there's a lot of non-trading that should happen, but we're going to see a lot of volume. So we're going to see a lot of people try to get into this pricing and try to see how the market's going to end up maneuvering around this area. Me personally, um, this is where I'm patient. This is where I'm kind of waiting for breakout moves and everything else like that before being able to jump in. Um, we clearly see this is the consolidation area that we have been talking about. We had four main areas where we end up having good breakout trades. One was right here when the market ended up breaking out right here. It broke to the downside. We ended up making money off of that one. It broke to the upside. We ended up making money off of that one, partial money, but we ended up making money off of that one. And last week we ended up taking two sell trades where we ended up winning based off of this first initial movement. And then after that, it went back inside and gave us a second chance, got about 60% there, and then after that, got stopped out. So at this point, there's no consolidation to kind of work off of. It did go into a low volume node area. Once again, made partial money off of this, but there's no good setup to work off of this going into today. We could say that there is a counter trend line break that has happened to the downside, but as long as we're in the middle of this consolidation, which means that we're kind of in the middle of this consolidation that's right here in that area, there's no reason for us to be able to jump and be quick on being able to make this move, especially with not that much news to be able to work with. So now we're going to stay away from US 30 for right now. Nas 100. This may be one of those days where we can kind of relax a little bit. I don't know. It doesn't seem like we got a lot of stuff going. Nas 100 had a buy trade that we was looking at. Market broke above that, fell, and if you stayed in the trade, you would have got kicked out. Since then, it's broke back above that overall area. Um, Market is still considered to be bullish. We are in an area of low volume, but once again, there has to be a catalyst to be able to make this movement. Um, we talk about a couple things have to happen with this. The United States dollar has to get stronger, and the United States dollar, I'm sorry, the United States dollar has to get weaker. The United States dollar ends up getting weaker. Typically, the index gets stronger, and if the index ends up getting stronger, then that means that we end up getting further movement. But if we go back to what we end up saying for the last 30 minutes, um, we can see that there's really hasn't been no major movement in any type of direction. We have been talking about we could see that the United States dollar could fall and gold could go up, and what's happening with oil is kind of going sideways. But all of them are not giving clear direction. If they're not giving a clear direction from the index standpoint, from the first standpoint, or from a just the index as a whole, then you're not going to get a clear direction when it comes down to what's happening with the overall stock pairs and everything else. So um, I don't see anything on Bloomberg that is catching towards the eye that I think we should have to worry about. CNBC, uh, there's some inflation data that's going to end up going in. Uh, I don't see anything with that either. You like what I ended up doing? Please make sure that you end up clicking on that boost button. We're getting so close to being able to have 1K people that are following along with us on the Trading View page. Thank you to everyone else that has been clicking on to that has been following along what we end up doing. Means a lot. For the people on YouTube, thanks for being able to watch and everything else like that. If you have any questions or anything else like that, please don't hesitate to send me a message. And like always, make sure that you end up planning your trade your plan. I'll see each and every one of you on the next video. Take it easy.